Hello, Alejandria. This is Jim Gillis with Win My Vote, and thanks so much for linking in. Wanted to talk with you about a partnership of sorts. It's just where the AARP utilizes our platform to create free online interactive voter guides for all your members. So the way it works is that Win My Vote is a free voter engagement site where voters can sign up with just an email address or a social media account. They enter their zip code, so they don't have to enter in any private or personal information, just a zip code, and we can create for them an online interactive sample ballot of their upcoming elections. So, for example, 94116 is San Francisco, California. So these are the ballots, and we'll use this most recent presidential ballot as a quick demo. So as a voter, this is sort of my, everything voting home base, where I can find my polling place. I have voting resources here, like when to register to vote, how to register to vote by mail, those types of things. I can see important dates for this election, when early voting starts, when and where to go to, those types of things. I can also print out my ballot or select favorites or add this ballot to one of my calendars to get reminders. But one of the most important features to me as a voter is how the groups and organizations and other individuals that I trust, how they're voting. And with that, it's called trusted sources. So trusted sources is a list of groups and organizations that I trust and that I select to follow or to have on my ballot. So there's two ways of selecting a group as a trusted source. One is looking through the library here of existing groups. The other way would be if the group were to build a group page and then send an invite to me, and then I would then say, yes, I think that you're a trusted source, and yes, I wanted to know how you're voting and the endorsing and that type of thing. So for this, purposes of just right here, I'll just add the AFL-CIO. So I'm going to add them as a trusted source to my ballot, and then when I go back to my ballot, I use this one. And when I click on a candidate's profile here, I can see that my trusted sources, their endorsements are featured right here. So I can see the AFL-CIO, and if I want, I can click right through to them.
It's our process.
And millions of working Americans had a say.
For who would fight for all of us?
For a better life.
And future.
Together, working people have decided.
And together, we are with her.
And I can say, great. I can also see, all the groups and organizations, and I can also click through to the group itself, and I can see their page. So I can learn about other candidates or other propositions or measures that they may be endorsing. I can see some specific issue statements here. And again, one of the things that makes it so powerful is that I'm not just seeing this on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm seeing this on my ballot. So I can take immediate action and favorite, propositions or measures or candidates, and then sort of move on to the next race or issue or subject, and really manage my vote so that as the elections get closer, I don't have to then suddenly do all of the work around that specific election. And I'll give you a quick example of that. I'll go back to my ballot here, and I'll go down my ballot, and you can see we have all of the races, so they go all the way down through the state assembly, state senate, into the county level races, even board of supervisors, city council, school board races. But let's say if I want to focus on propositions, and this proposition, these are real, by the way. This is the San Francisco, California ballot. We had 17 state propositions, and then on the city level we had 24, 25 actually, measures. So it really was overwhelming, and but one by one I can handle it. So let's say on Proposition 52, this is Medi-Cal hospital reimbursement. I can read the language. I can scroll down and read the actual language. I can also see groups and organizations here that are supporting it, and then groups and organizations that are opposing it. and let's say I'm a Democrat and I follow the California Democratic Party, I can click there and I can learn about what they have to say about it. I can also click on, let's say, Ethan Behrman, and I'll see what he has to say about it.
Can politicians help themselves from grabbing whatever money that they can? Apparently not here in California, because this is just one of a couple of propositions dealing with this issue. Proposition 52, voter approval to divert hospital fee revenue dedicated to Medi-Cal.
And here's a good example from the AARP. So, for example, this video right here that I found up on YouTube.
AARP Vermont supports the proposed redevelopment of the Burlington Town Center, and for many of our members in Burlington.
Now, this on its own, no matter how convincing he is, isn't going to do me much, because unless I write it down or take notes or try to connect it back to my voter guide or my ballot somehow, it's going to be very challenging for me to remember this, come election time. But if it's done right here on my ballot, so for example, this right here.
Since 2009, California hospitals willingly pay a Medi-Cal hospital fee to continue receiving federal matching funds for Medi-Cal, bringing us $3 billion a year.
And with that, I can simply just mark it on my ballot. So now I'm saying, you know what, on Prop 52, I'm voting yes. Now when I go back to my ballot, you can see here that it's marked yes, and it's nice and prominent. And let me see if it has enough. Yeah, so it doesn't have enough votes yet. But once it reaches a certain number that's statistically significant, we'll post percentages of yes, percentages of no, and then percentages of undecided. So from a group standpoint, if the AARP is supporting a specific proposition or measure, they can upload that endorsement. They can send it out to their members. Their members sign up. Their members hear it. They select yes or no, and then you guys can actually track the members and who's supporting it and who's not supporting it, those types of things. So you can see some real numbers moving into an election. And again, I may go through this on a Friday 2 or 3 weeks before the election, or 2 to 3 weeks before I plan on mailing in my ballot. But it will then give me time to then move on to the other propositions and start taking them one by one. So hopefully that makes sense. We have lots of features planned for groups and organizations. Your organization was one of the ones that we had in mind, that we said, hey, how do these guys function? What would they like to do? That type of stuff. And again, it's all free. So I would love to talk with you about it whenever you have some free time. You can reach out to me by replying to this message, or feel free to email me at jim@winmyvote.com, or call me at 415-867-9554. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.